While I'm waiting for some paint to dry here, I'm going to fix a tire on my John Deere Gator. Got a flat tire, and that's a tube type tire. I'm just going to show you how I break beads. I usually use my 1-ton truck for this, but it's not available, so I'm going to hope my Toyota does the job. But I just take a heavy oak plank. It's got to be oak vinyl snap, and I put it on the tire so it just misses the rim, and then I drive the truck up. I also have the valve stem opposite where I'm doing this. This is a tube type tire, so I got to be a little careful about that valve stem. I drive the truck off. I know with the 1-ton truck it pops the bead every time. We'll see what the lighter Toyota does. This is a lot easier job if you have a helper, someone that can tell you your wheels lined up with the board. I'm all alone here, so we'll see how it goes. This is really typical. My board kind of slid up on the rim, so I'm going to have to back off and get off the rim. That's where, if I get a helper, it's really handy because they can spot that before you get to this point. All right, let's try this again. There we go. See how nicely that worked? It just popped the bead. I may be able to break the rest of it loose by just stepping on it, and I may have to turn the tire upside down and repeat this process, but it's a pretty good way for breaking beads at home. All right, I got the other side bead broke all the way. I had to turn the tire over. We'll repeat the process here. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, that broke the bead quite nicely. Might have to do it one more time on the other side there. Doesn't look like it's gonna come free. Look at that. This is why it's handy to have a spotter. You see how that truck's barely on the board. Okay, that should do it. I should have the bead broke all the way around. Now I can take the tire off the rim. All right, I don't have a cameraman here. Lighting isn't ideal. So we'll just see what this looks like when I look at this raw footage later, but you're just gonna have to bear with me. Let's just see how it goes. First of all, basically about the smaller the tire, the harder they are to do. I used to drive semi, and boy, you get a flat tire on the road, and you have one of those service guys comes out, they just change those semi tires by hand, and they lickety split, they're done before you even know what happened. Smaller tires, since there's less room to work with, but it's just the same amount of bead thickness. Therefore, the smaller diameter of the tire, the harder it is to do. Lawnmower tires and small tires are quite difficult to do, especially if you don't know what you're doing. There is a few secrets to it. One of them is when you're taking it off, you work away from the valve stem. Okay, so we'll start at the valve stem area and work our way away from it. And the reverse, when you're putting it on, you work toward the valve stem. So you start mounting your bead there and work toward the valve stem. Less likely of doing any damage. Oh, by the way, before I broke that bead, I took the valve core out. Before you do tire work, you always gotta remove your valve core. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna spray the bead with silicone spray. Some people don't use silicone, you should use soapy water, right? They're probably right, okay? I've been using silicone for one heck of a long time. Now that can's almost done, but I've never had a problem come from it, so that's what I do. The thing I like about the silicone is today's a really hot day, and soapy water evaporates darn fast, so you don't have that issue with the silicone. Now, the key to doing these small tires is you put your knees on them here and try to get that rim, go inside the dish of the rim. That's the key, otherwise you'll never get them off. Then you just try and get underneath the tire, like so, and pry her up. Sometimes the first part is the hardest part. We'll see how she goes. Don't try to do too much at once. Probably shouldn't use screwdrivers either, but we do what we can. I don't know, sometimes I think the screwdrivers are easier to use than the tire spoons, so. The thing is you don't want to, particularly if it's a tubeless tire, you don't want to beat up that tire bead, so you want to be fairly careful that the screwdriver doesn't prop up on you. But if you work on it a little bit of time, once you get past the halfway point, it gets really easy. Okay, so that's all there is to that. One other thing is I drew a reference line here in relation to where the valve stem is for two purposes. I can tell which side is which on the tire, the top side I made the mark on, and it'll aid me when I try to find out what caused this leak. Is it a rim leak or what have you? That way we'll know how everything was assembled before we broke her down. Okay, so now we're going to pull the tube out. Now, here's the thing. We've got tube tires, tubeless. These are actually tubeless tires, but the rim's in such bad shape that it wasn't sealing. Also, when the tires are brand new, sometimes it's hard to seat them on the bead. When you're doing tubeless, it's obviously no problem when you have a tube. So, if you have any rim leaks or anything like that, the tubes will totally take care of it without much effort, but it's so much harder to fix a flat on a tube tire. If this was tubeless, we could have plugged it and we'd be done by now. So, all right, now another deal. See, with that reference line that I drew, I have that lined up with the valve stem. We'll be able to tell, once we find the leak in the tube, kind of lined up with the tire, and see if there's a nail or anything poking through in that area. So it makes it a little easier to find what caused your flat. The next thing I got to do here is I'm going to put the valve core back in this inner tube, and we'll fill it up with air and we'll put it under some water and see if we can find a leak. Okay, I found the leak on this tire. This is a replacement valve stem, and it leaks when you move this replacement valve stem just right. Can you hear that? When I do? You might not be able to hear the hiss, but that's the problem there. So this is what I'm going to do. I've had it with the tubes. I think the bead on this tire is in fairly decent shape. Good enough to seal, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up this rim with a wire brush on the end of a drill. And then I got to put bead sealer on it. And hopefully this will work as a tubeless tire. All right, I put a wire brush in a drill here. And I'm just going to clean up the area where the rim meets the tire. And then we'll use bead sealer, and that should make this work as a tubeless tire. All right, there we go. Basically what I'm just trying to do here is get the flaky and rusty stuff off. It doesn't have to be perfect. The bead sealer should take care of the rest of it, but you get the general idea of what I'm trying to do here. So I'll finish this up and then we'll mount the tire on the rim. All right. We've got the rim all cleaned up here. Let's put a new valve stem on this. There we go. Okay, our valve stem's on. Now, let's take this opportunity to see if there's anything in the tire, any nails or anything. I don't feel any. So I think we're good there. Doesn't seem to be too much crud inside the tire. So I think we can put our rim on it now. All right, now we're gonna put the rim on the tire. We sprayed a little bit of silicone here. We'll put the rim in this way because here's where it's indented. It'll give us room to work with. And then we'll just push her in. And we might need the help, a little bit of help with the screwdriver. Just pry that in. There we go. That's all there is to that. Okay. Now we got her like that. Now we'll put on this side. Spray on a little silicone. I think I'm gonna sweep some of the mud out of this area so I don't get mud where I'm working. Now that we got that reasonably clean, let's put the other bead on. We're gonna start as far away from the valve stem as possible. We'll take the tire and we're gonna try and get as much of the tire to go down in this low side of the rim as possible. Gives your tire someplace to go so you can get the thing on. And there you go. That's the secret, is getting your rim or your tire inside the dish of the rim. That's the key to this whole thing. And once you get past the halfway point by getting this over the rim, it gets easy. See, our valve stem's right there, so we never really had to worry about hurting our valve stem at all. Now we're almost home. One more time, ought to get it. There we go. Just about, anyway. There we go. But that's the key of the job on these tires, is getting you both beads to go in that recessed area of the rim, because you just can't stretch the tire. Now, I'm going to wipe off that bead on each side, and then we're going to put some bead sealer on it. I'm going to clean off the silicone just in case the bead sealer and the silicone don't play along well together. Get all that silicone out of there. Off the rim and off the tire. I would assume brake cleaner does a reasonably good job. It cleans everything else. Alright, there's that side. Now we'll quick do the other side. Alright, that takes care of that. Now Let's slap some bead sealer on this thing. That takes care of one side. There we go, sports fans. Let's put some air in it and see what happens. Okay, and there's our finished product. No leaks, and now it's a tubeless tire, so if I ever get another flat, all I have to do is plug it. If you liked what you saw in this video, I'd appreciate it if you liked, shared, subscribed, you know, do everything it takes to make this the #1 channel on YouTube. And we'll see you again here next time on the Fix Yourself channel.